Well, hello everyone. It's Rob Sachetto from the studio once more. Hello, how are ya? I hope you're having a great, I want to say week? Yes, it was Monday. 'Twas Monday today. Yeah, Monday, and yeah, the beginning of a new week. Wow, I got so much stuff to do this week because this weekend, Friday, Saturday, is CreatureCon, so woo, that's gonna be crazy. If you haven't heard of CreatureCon, I think you can still get tickets, maybe, perhaps. It's happening in Sudbury, Ontario, at the Place des Arts. Big guests. I'll be there too. There's big guests, but I'll be there too. And drawing stuff, and I'll have a lot of things on hand for people to Googa about. Yeah, prints and comics and things like that. So without further ado, we're doing the Marvel Zombies. And we started them in the last episode. In our last episode, we started these Marvel Zombies, and we got to the ugly stage, which is the color washes on top of the pencils, and trying to get as close to being a full painting as I can, and then inking it. So I try to get to a full painting as much as I sort of can with the materials, right? You can't really get too dark with watercolors. I mean, you can, but you want to see what you've penciled underneath too, right? That's what the process kind of does. So yeah, I can see obviously what's underneath the watercolor washes. Of course, I can see all the pencils and that. So I ink on top of that to finish it, and yeah, it looks much different, as you'll see as we go along. So yeah, join me, won't you? Finishing Marvel Zombies, because yeah, what is it? Tomorrow? Is it tomorrow? No, Wednesday, I think. Is the Marvel Zombies show, animated mini series? I think it's called. I think it's a mini series. So yeah, that should be cool. It actually looks pretty cool. I think it does. So hopefully they don't ruin it for fans. But yeah, it looks kind of neat. So I'm gonna actually change this pen here. Yeah, this might work. I'm gonna use a Sharpie for the outline for this one. Actually, I'll zoom in. Yeah, so guys, I'm Rob Sachetto. I'm a professional artist. I invented zombie portraits back in 2006. I wrote and illustrated the Zombie Handbook, and I've worked for the Walking Dead show, have drawn more zombies than anyone else on planet Earth, and I continue to do so, as you see. This is the continuation, amongst all the other things I've sort of done, taught many grades and levels of individuals, art and stuff, and have done a lot of workshops and things, so really enjoy that. I've done countless con appearances. Gonna be doing another one this weekend with CreatureCon, of course. Yeah, super can't wait for that. It's one of the ones you kind of really look forward to. In the year type of thing. It's one of those ones, yeah. And so yes, it's a biggie. It's what we in the industry call a biggie. Yeah. So really looking forward to that. Hope you can join me there if you're in the vicinity. If you're around, if you're circa. if you're circa these parts, that's not how that word is used. Yeah, come and watch me draw. Man, there's so many awesome guests there too. Many of which, or all of which, I did zombie portraits of for the event itself, and also did the exclusive print for the event as well, which is a sort of an EC Comics homage or swipe or whatever you want to call it. I used a sort of an EC. What was the name of it? Suspense. I can't remember the name of it now. But hey, if you want to actually, here's the thing too. I should mention more often. If you want to see a lot of this content, there's tons more, obviously, live streams in which, for example, you'll see the beginning stages of this. You'll see me actually draw it kind of from, I guess, reference. No, actually, I didn't even have reference for this. That's the thing. Yes, I didn't have reference from this, so it's not canon. I really made it up. Like, I made up the suit, thinking it's kind of close. Because, I couldn't find reference for it. So anyway, things like that, yeah. But I think I had reference for maybe Thor. I had to, look at a bunch of different... Yeah, actually, here it was. I had reference kind of for Thor. And, and like I said, guys, here's Gil Kane. I always mention Gil Kane. That is Gil Kane art. And as you can see, he really, really, really shows the structure of the underlying muscles and things, very clearly. And the shape of things, very clearly. So you could almost learn how to draw from this guy. And his compositions are just bang on every single time. He's done 1 trillion covers, he's just amazing, right? So all the muscle groups are very obvious and shown. So like I said, you could learn off this guy, Whereas other artists, it's harder to learn from because they're so smooth, He's got more of a definition and everything. So, yeah, I always think of him when I'm in a anatomy jam. You know what I mean? Yeah. So Gil Kane, man, what would Gil Kane do? That's my mantra. if you will. Yeah. What would Gil Kane do? Yeah, that's why I capped this, because I wanted to do something maybe a little more obvious with his face. Tony Stark tried to bite his way out of the armor. Yeah. Now you got jokes. Yeah, he's trying to bite his way out of the armor. So, because there's a crack in the helmet. So, there, I put that in. Comic relief, man. Rob's always good for a joke, man. He's got to put the jokes in. Okay, just wanted to check the chat. Oh yeah, that clock. Oh, I gotta put a new battery in that clock. Fool. Yeah. Okay. I've only been on for five minutes. Yeah, but again, I was kind of asked to check the chat early, because if people are on there, type of thing. So yeah. Anywho, hope you guys had a great Monday. We're off to a great start. The CreatureCon is this weekend. I can't wait for that. Again, I'm kind of making up this Wolverine uniform. I think a little bit. Yeah, I don't think this is canon at all either. But just making it up. So yeah, I'm putting the holding line around kind of everything. This is going to be more of a thick comic booky, obviously, drawing. I'm going to kind of do the comic book thing, you know. Those black areas. What should his belt be? Red? Man, look at it. See how, like, totally spaced out I am with costumes. Like, that's so nuts. I think it's because there's like a trillion. I've seen a trillion versions of these costumes, and I can't sort of like. I can't pinpoint which one is the more widely used one, you know. And then I've seen his stripes blue and black, like real black, not just like, black because of the way the light's shining on it, but actually black. And I'm like, oh, there's another sort of version of that, because I thought it was a blue stripe. I thought it was blue stripes, because that exists too. So, anyway, yeah, trying to pinpoint the actual costume type is always perplexing to me. Yeah. That's why I kind of don't do the superhero type comics. I do more like horror type. But I guess it is interesting to see a guy who does sort of like weird art have his work applied to superhero stuff and see how it looks every once in a while, like Milo Manara type of thing, like him doing superhero stuff for Marvel, or like Mobius, with the Silver Surfer thing. Like, those guys aren't Marvel guys at all, right? But when they do Marvel stuff, it takes on a totally bizarre, almost, not saying it's not good, it's just like very weird and different than the norm that you're kind of used to artist wise, in comics, right? They're very different. Yeah, and that's really interesting to see. I love seeing that. So yeah, who knows? Like maybe my art would actually kind of look neat as a cover, at least for a Marvel book, for a Marvel Zombies book. It'd be kind of cool. Yeah. I need 10 million followers, and then I can work for Marvel. Yeah. Yeah. Just get me the following, guys. Jokes aside, though, guys, honestly, if you have the wherewithal to subscribe to the channel, please do. I would really, really, really appreciate that. And I have to, again, in the same breath, thank vehemently the new folks that have subscribed. Oh my goodness! Like, wow! Thank you guys. It's overwhelming. I know it's not, like, it doesn't seem to be much, but to me it is. Like, man, it's huge. So thank you guys for subscribing. It kind of means that you want to see the channel grow and help me sort of ascend into that next level of algorithm stream happiness, so speak. That getting in front of more people, man. Get in front of more people. More people seeing my work. I love that, and hopefully, help people, draw, give out some nice tips and tricks, as they call art tips and tricks. Hashtag. Yeah, kind of encompasses a lot of things, The biggest thing is, like, and I know this sounds crazy. It's every Disney ending of every Disney movie, like, but it's like my advice is always like, be yourself, like really be yourself, but be the best self that you can be, type of thing, especially when it comes to the desire to draw and things of that nature, you know. Like, always have your unique take, but make it really good, you know, make it really worthwhile type of thing. Just my advice, just my advice. Yeah. Wiser men may differ. It's all we got, man. It's just opinion. It's all we got. It's just that, you know. Usually I'll try to give my opinion with, you know, the grains of background and experience, you know. When I'm talking about art, of course, you know. Because I'm kind of doing it, right? I'm doing it while I talk about it. So, and I haven't stopped doing it. I haven't stopped drawing in years, like in years. Like, I can't remember a time where I wasn't drawing, you know. So, yeah, always. Always and for reals, yes. Yellow teeth. So, his teeth aren't adamantium, as his skeleton may suggest. Well, you know, yeah, I guess it's extra to put the sort of silver of the adamantium in the white of his teeth, so they just, you know, kind of make it all the same tone or whatever. But yeah, his teeth aren't made of adamantium or coated with adamantium. Right? Or am I missing something? Maybe I should look that up. No, it's yellow. The belt is yellow, isn't it? Yes, and it's blue straps. Yes, I think it is. Yeah. I think it is. Okay. I think it's blue straps, and it's an old yeller belt. Yeah, I should do the yellow first. Yeah, I should do the yellow first. Yellow in first. There. I think that's just black. Yeah, black. Mr. Black. Now here's Mr. Black. Guys, thanks for joining me tonight. You want to see some drawing? You want to see some drawing, kids? That's what I'm doing tonight, and pretty much every night here in the zombie manufacturing studio. It's where I create all the zombie art that you see on the Patreon page, by the way. Yes, I do have a Patreon page, of course. It is primarily to fund the Patreon page, to help me create more content, and all the proceeds go to art supplies. So it helps me get like maybe more interesting excuse me, art supplies and stuff that I've never used before that maybe you'd like to see me use too. So if you want to throw in like $2 a month to the cause, to that on the Patreon, that would be mighty big of you. If you have the ways and means to do so, that would be absolutely fantastic. Just a real help, because art supplies do not get cheaper; they get more expensive year by year, and you know. I even do art on the covers of them, on the back of the covers. I don't have anything there. Oh, here's one. Yeah, like I even use the covers. Like I make the dollars stretch, man. And this is like a dollar store watercolor. Yeah, $3.25, man. $3.25 for dollar store watercolor paper. And that's what I'm using to do these. That's what I'm actually using to do these Marvel Zombies right now. So yeah. So yeah. There. I like that. Hi. That's good. That's good. Maybe a wee bit there. There, that should shut it up. Maybe a bit there. Yeah. There. Okay, that's good. And those things will be black. Those stripes or whatever. They will be black. Yeah. Okay. All right. So there. So there's that. There's that kind of finished. I want to put some pale yeller on there, like almost a warm gray, almost a warm gray. Yeah. To make that sort of pop, a slight bit is what I'm looking for. A slight bit. Yeah, and that's gonna recede, right? So if anything, that should have more of a blue or a cool gray affectation to it. Yes, indeed. I'm gonna check the chat. You in the chat? No? Okay, fine. Alright, so there. There. I'm gonna put some as I mentioned moments ago, put some blue in there, or a cool gray, to help that recede, because his leg is, going back like that. Yeah. So that's going back. This leg is coming forward, So there's a little more. It's a little lighter. It's a little warmer there. There. Yeah, there's definite damage. There's definite damage on him. Yeah, I want to maybe put parts blown out. But when Thor hit him with the hammer, it really scarred the whole plate, and actually destroyed his power source. So that's how he ended up shutting down Iron Man. But at what cost? Stay tuned. I made all of that up, obviously, to give this a backstory, right? To give this sort of a meaning. Why am I drawing Iron Man as a zombie? Well, Thor killed him, and he actually started going crazy as a zombie inside of the suit, and Thor had to stop him, man, and so he hit him with all he had on the in the power source, and that's why he's got all these sort of impact lines coming off of him, Yeah. And when I start inking it, I'll put some more emphasis into spots and things like that where it needs to be, and things like that. And then there'll be parts that are blown out, like maybe there's a hole, a literal hole there. Literal hole or nice talking. Yeah, literal holes in him, in spots where, who knows, he got hit with the Vision's laser at full bore, pardon the pun, like it went right through his armor type of thing. Who knows? Could have been a lot of things, man. Shield's new anti-Iron Man initiative, But yeah, you give it a purpose. Like you give the thing you're drawing a purpose and a little bit of a backstory, so you can envision it better. Draw it better. Give it meaning. So yeah, always do the backstory in your head. Keep that in there. When you do any character you do, no matter how minor it is. Man, yeah, this watercolor paper is very, I think I mentioned the last time, it's very inconsistent. And I almost feel like I should give it some more pop. I find the colors really dull. Yeah, I don't know. Should I? I'm still. This is the thing, right? You sort of, now I feel like I've used this type of watercolor for the first time, a watercolor paper for the first time, because this is a different watercolor paper, even though it's got the same cover. I got it at the dollar store and everything. That it looks like it's definitely changed, because one side is usually super smooth, which is the side I usually work on, and the other side is super textured, and it's almost like plastic, So this paper here, both sides are like this. Both sides are textured. So, and it feels different. Like it feels like a different type of watercolor paper, on top of that change too, So anyway, yeah, I feel like I'm kind of, if I'd known it would react like this, I might have, and I did kind of lean into I remember I said to myself that I would do a specific style, change my style to fit the roughness of the paper. I remember literally doing that before I even started. So yeah, but I was still like, oh yeah, the paint coverage and absorption is different with this paper too. So yeah, so it affects how you mix colors and stuff. Yeah, like sometimes you can get away with, leaving it for a second, getting another color, putting it in there, and they both blend in a weird way. But it absorbs like immediately, so you can't blend another color in and kind of let it go, because it's already dried. It's already like in the page. So yeah, you have to, these are things you have to consider, right? Because now it's a whole different medium you're using, and you have to reacquaint yourself with something different, So yeah. So yeah, no excuses. Just like this is the things that you sort of confront and have to either change your style for, or whatever, or do something, do other kind of art that works with this surface better, yeah, like less slick comic booky stuff and more sort of rough hewn, things like that, because it works better with the paper texture, so yes. Little tips and tricks, as they say. Spider-Man. So yeah, I'm still putting some final color touches on these, which I did not expect that I would be doing. I thought I'd be getting right into the inking, but I think, like I said, I think it needed to be a lot poppier because it looked too drab. Like it looked too drab. It looked too dull. It looked too like washed out. Washed out. You're gonna get washed out. Yeah, it looked too washed out. So, adding another layer. Let's just call that there. Yeah, and that is where's my Spider-Man reference? Okay. Yeah, that goes over. Okay, yeah, that's right. See, guys, I really need to use reference because I can't remember what these guys. The costumes are always baffling to me, man. Yeah. There. Okay. So that's a little better. That's a little better, I think. That's a little poppier. Yeah. And I'll add some maybe black spotting in there too. We'll see. Something to pop them off the page. Maybe the thick holding line will work. But I like it. Like I like it. I think it's good. Like I think the proportion wise, everything. I kept Gil Kane in mind when I was doing it. So again, like this is like an arm that's coming towards, and that'll be shown more in the inking stage where all the things go. Where all the veins and arm lines and all that stuff and costume go that are shredded and or zombified. Yeah. I think the Thor one is ready to. Oh no, the belt. The belt. I'm gonna use marker for that. The belt. Yeah. Then I'm gonna use what am I gonna use? We're drawing Marvel Zombies, folks, because I am the zombie guy. I'm the zombie king. I'm the zombie king. I'm the zombie guy, Rob Sachetto. I've drawn more zombies than anyone else on planet Earth. I invented zombie portraits back in 2006. And I've been doing zombie portraits ever since. And carrying on like a madman with a little page called Zombie Daily, which I've been posting new zombie art on a daily basis since 2008. So, do the math. Don't do the math. Do the math. Do the chicken. It's insane. Like it's yeah, like that I've kept it up this long, man. And there no cracks, man. I could keep doing it forever. I love it, man. I love it. So tune in to Zombie Daily every day for new zombie art. Intricate pen and ink, all traditional art, all done traditionally, of course, and like you see here, yeah, from every area of pop culture, and even beyond that. Dinosaurs, animals, all like everything, man. I zombify. It's all cartoons, cartoon characters, anime, video game characters, Pokemon, of course. Check out some of the live streams here, like for the lead up to these. That was last episode. So the very last episode. In fact, the drawing table looked almost exactly the same as I had left it a day and a half ago, or 2 days ago rather, when we ended the live stream. So you could pick it up immediately with today's live stream where I'm inking everything. So yeah, check that last video out. And there's many more. I do like original sketch cards, zombie portraits. I actually do zombie portraits in a live stream between two live streams. There's so much stuff, Godzilla stuff, Pokemon stuff. Oh man, like I love pop culture. I love zombies, so it's the most fun thing for me to be doing, like zombie versions of everything, you know. So yeah, check it out, guys, for sure. The link, of course, is in the description below. Click that link for incredible zombie art, the likes of which you've never seen. Yes, stay on the moors. So yeah, check it out, guys. Check it out for sure. I hope you guys are enjoying the live streams as well. Always feel free to ask questions or comment or chat. I check the chat as often as I kind of can. In fact, I'm going to check it again right now. Boop. Okay. There. Yeah. If you have any suggestions or if you have any like suggestions for zombie art that you'd like to see too, I love to hear from you. If you want to get a custom zombie drawing done or a zombie portrait, go to zombieportraits.com, contact us, or order the zombie portrait right there on the page. The process is incredibly simple, but yeah, check it out. Check those pages out for sure. Of course, all of the links are in the description below this video. And as I mentioned earlier, check out the other live streams. There's tons of content for you to check out and, enjoy, hopefully. Yeah. So we're doing Zombie Thor. And I'm digging it. I'm having a ball. I love it. Yeah, Zombie Thor, man. From Marvel Zombies. How y'all doing? I hope you're having a great evening. We're doing Marvel Zombies on the channel tonight. Hamming it up with some Zombie Thor. I love the sort of Barry Windsor Smith-ish wings. That's if I have to credit anyone for that kind of look that I'm doing right now, it's Barry Smith. Like, that's a Barry Smith type of thing. Yeah. I mean, Mike Kaluta too. There's a bit of Mike Kaluta in there. But yeah, to me, I think this is like a Barry Smith-ish, winged helmet type of thing. Yeah. Which check out Barry Windsor Smith, and you'll see what I mean. I think there's a meme floating around with Barry Windsor Smith, looking at a Jack Kirby drawing, and like he almost cries and puts, and like he can't look at it because he's like, it's too perfect, man. And he kind of gets it out of his sight, and I was like, oh my god, that was hilarious, man. Yeah, Barry Smith, man, he couldn't take the greatness of Kirby, man. Like, for a split second, he lost it. I can't even look at it. It's too amazing. Yeah. So yeah, so much to learn from Kirby, just on a kinetic energy level. How does he concepts, you know. Yeah, his art was bigger than life, bigger than Google. Yeah, yeah, what an incredible artist and just all around person, really. Kirby, man, Jack Kirby. Yeah, probably had the most influence in comics of anybody. I think. Like, definitely in America anyway, for sure. You know, like for American comics. But then I don't know what they had back then in Europe. Like, I don't know what they had in the 60s in Europe in terms of science fiction illustration things. Like, I know they must have had a market, but I can't remember what was going on back then. You know, in the sort of British comic book or magazine market, you know, because we had comics, and we had comics for many years before the 60s. But what was going on overseas? What did they have? Like, heavy metal didn't come out till 76? Like, what was before that in Europe? Metal Hurlant? But that couldn't have been much before heavy metal came out. Or did it meld into heavy metal? No, I think heavy metal was its own thing. Anywho, yeah, I just wonder about that. What were they looking at back then, science fiction wise? If anything, don't know. I'm gonna find out tomorrow, though. I'm gonna Google it. Google. I don't Google much. I draw a lot. I don't Google much. That's not true. No, I'm on the computer more than I think everybody would agree that they're on the computer more than they want to be. Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one. Yeah. No, sometimes I don't. If I'm kind of creating stuff or getting reference for things, then yeah, like I don't mind. But yeah, I'd rather not be in front of a computer screen, to be honest, for me anyway. Yeah. I'd rather be elsewhere. Drawing, perhaps. But yeah, here we go with some nice, we got some nice, strong Thor stuff going on here. Kind of in a Walt Simonson-ish, vibe. The big blocky. The thing is, I'm putting a ton of veins and stuff in there too. That's not Simonson-ish, but it's like Simonson meets what's that guy there? Stephen Platt. Yeah, had a cup of coffee in the comic industry, became a superstar, man. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't do much at all. Like, a couple of issues of Moon Knight. Prophet for a bit. Like, inconsistently. And what else? What else did Stephen Platt do? I don't know. Moon Knight? That's all I remember him doing. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, and let me know in the comments, in the chat, whatever. I'm sure I'm sure he's done more than that, but I mean, he must have. That can't be the only stuff he's done. Is Moon Knight and Prophet. That can't be. No, he must have done more stuff than that. I just can't remember what it is. But yeah, if you remember what it is, what else did Stephen Platt do in the comic book world? But he was literally like super talked about artist back then, man. Like, yeah, he became a superstar, and like I don't really know what else he did other than Prophet and Moon Knight. Like, not many issues of those either. Like, yeah. Like, I don't think he ever did like a really, significant run. Maybe on Moon Knight. I can't remember when he came in and when he waltzed in and when he waltzed out of that. I don't remember. I have a couple of those issues, but I think I remember having them all at one point, but yeah, I sold my collection years ago, decades ago, different lifetimes ago. Feel like the Doctor, man, like Doctor Who, What am I going to be for this century, or what am I going to, what's my thing that I do now? What am I into now? Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy when you go through life and you reflect on stuff and you're like, wow, I went through those phases, man, and of this, that, the other thing, whatever, goth phase or whatnot, bro phase. I don't think there was a bro phase when I was in high school or grade school. There was like jocks, but like not. There wasn't. I don't think there was like bro kind of guys are now. There's got to be that though now in college, like in high school. There has to be cliques like that or something. Yeah, tech bro guys or tech nerds or stalwart guys who kind of act that role a bit. Yeah. High school, man. Crazy times. Different times back then, man. That was like the 80s and 90s. For this guy. Yeah, oh my goodness, man. Yeah. 80s and 90s. Yeah, if you were fortunate to be around in those days, yeah, that I think those were the best of times and the blurst of times. No, they were the best for me. Like that was the best era of humankind. I think to me, the 80s and 90s were remarkable. Yeah, remembering things like an old man does. But yeah, you just kind of drift. When you draw, you kind of drift, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty part of drawing. It really resets your brain. It really resets your brain and gets you thinking on a different level. And that's what the relaxation of it is. I think that's what the wonderful sort of feeling that you get, because it really feels like you're resetting, and resting that part of the brain that always works, when you're in traffic and at work and all that stuff, when you're drawing, it's other parts of the brain that are being used, right? So, yeah, it's like taking a little brain vacation. A braincation. Yeah. Copyright. Copyright. A braincation. Yeah. But it's true. It's true. Not selling anything, man. Like it's it's just my observation and experience, and I mean you can almost tell when I'm drawing, and you guys are kind of listening in, watching in. You can tell, like I at least I hope I seem relaxed, like I'm kind of relaxed when I'm doing this stuff, right? So yeah, you'll feel that, like you'll feel that, And again, you don't have to be like you're not trying to be good or anything like that. You're just drawing stuff. Like whatever pops into your head, whatever you kind of see in front of you, have that sketchbook with you when you're, on the bus or on the train or subway or whatever, and pull it out and draw things, Doodle if that makes it feel a little less of a thing, pressure, if that relieves the pressure of drawing, just call it doodling and go with that, and then you'll start sort of drawing, right? You'll start drawing. You'll start looking at things a little more, and maybe trying to get that down, But again, there's no stakes. There's nothing. You don't have to live up to anything. It's all you. It's for your enjoyment. It's for your pleasure. It's for your, it's for your relaxation, and that's it. It's not going to be judged. So yeah, no stakes involved. And just enjoy it, because it's really, really awesome. Yeah, what do you think of that arm? What do you think of that arm? Lots of nice crazy detail inside of that giant piece of meat. And there's gonna, there'll be more definition in there too. Going to use a thicker holding line and a couple of thicker, shadow sort of lines in there to give it some more depth, because it's kind of flat right now. But as I go, I'm gonna add some more depth to it, like make the bicep a little like obvious in the roundness and stuff like that. So yeah, this ain't over. So we're doing Marvel Zombies for the that's what he had. That's what he had. He had bloody it's right here, isn't it? It's right here. Yeah, he had like just a weird triangle shoulder pad thing. Yes. It was there all the time. Yeah. I can still keep. Excuse me, guys. I can still keep some of the elements of that. Okay. Yeah, I want to make it look more like the actual old, this Thor. I want to make it look like that Thor. That's the Thor I'm going for. The classic Thor. Yeah. Yeah. Which is, I think, kind of how the Chris Hemsworth Thor started out. Man, I hate where they went with that. They made Thor seem like a goof. Like they made him a character that was like, that acted like hit the age he looked and everybody looked, but like he's a god, man. The guy's been around, like he has wisdom. He's not. Anyway, there's so many things I disliked about how they handled Thor in the movies. But that's for another time. Yeah. I wonder what they're doing with like the Marvel stuff now. That's going to be really interesting. They're trying to capture lightning in a bottle again, man. I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if the gamble will pay off. Put some quarters in a slot machine instead, guys, and then maybe you'll have better luck that way. Doing a like an $800 million probably movie. That's what somebody told me. Somebody said that that they're looking at a price of $800 million to do maybe the both movies, maybe, or who knows, just the first one, the Doomsday or the Doom one. And I'm like, oh my god, like with marketing, they'd have to make $1 trillion to break even, man. Like, how are they? Who's at the wheel there, man? Like, who's manning the ship? Like, how do you make decisions like that? Like, anyone can see, like, man, make a ton of like diverse, interesting, new concepts. Like, make 500 of those types of movies instead of that one Avengers one, and you're gonna make your money back. Like, you'll probably find some like incredible gems in there, and like super hits and stuff like that, and Oscar stuff. No, we're gonna put $800 million into this one movie. Oh, I hope it works, guys. Like, how do you bank on that, man? There's gotta be something fishy going on there, man. I can't see that being a wise decision. But then what do I know? What do I know? What a wino. Yes. Thor as a zombie. Marvel Zombies, man. Yeah, looking forward to that. Looks interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's difficult for Marvel to sort of go like play things by the comic book, because that universe doesn't even exist anymore. That Marvel universe doesn't exist, right? So, yeah, how are they gonna? They can't do the introduction to Marvel Zombies the same way they did it in the comics, right? Because that happened in Ultimate Fantastic Four, which again isn't a comic anymore, or a universe either, because they destroyed that universe, I think, right? Yeah, they did, and the only survivor was Miles Morales, right? Like, he's the only person who made it to our Earth out of that Ultimate Universe being destroyed. Unless, I'm sure they could bring it back, and maybe they have already and I just didn't even know about it, but yeah. Battleworld, man. Yeah. We took that entire universe and put it on Battleworld. Yeah. So yes, here we go with some nice, really good, really cool, sort of designy, almost stylized details and zombification areas, characteristics in the arm. A lot of like crazy veins and things like that. Decay, holes in the flesh. And strained and almost leathery skin. All of those goodies. All of those goodies. Yeah. Liking it. I'm liking it. I really like the I really like his head and the his helmet wings. Helmet wings. Yeah. Helmet wings. There. Beauty. Beauty. Beauty, eh? I'm Canadian, so I gotta say A. Gotta do that. Gotta do that A thing that everybody expects. I think I'm gonna handle his cape differently. Because I don't think this pen ink will show up even like it will, but I think a different type of ink is needed for that red. So I'm gonna do a change up of the pen. Oh, sorry guys, I was getting a little too close to my own thing there. Yeah, I'm gonna do a change up of the pen. I'm gonna return to this pen, this pigment liner, Stadler pigment liner. These are the ones I usually use a lot of. Even the size, the number 3 is always like a good, almost utility size for everything. So, for all of your sort of inking details, things like that, all your needs of that nature. So, yeah, I like using it. And this is all going to be black. Mr. Black. It's all going to be black. And there's probably going to be a little bit of detail in here just to show where his rib cage is and the state of it. But otherwise, blackness, yes. The leg here, yeah, there's going to be, there's going to be a lot of dark parts in there because he's got that blue leggings, I guess. I don't know what he's got. On. Blue pants. They're not pants. They're in the comics. There's versions of this suit or this costume where he's got bare legs, and then they went to they just colored them in blue and made it like sort of, I guess, spandex. So yeah. That's kind of what this. I mean, obviously, that's what this is. I'm not giving him bare legs. It seems weird. He seems too like Norse and barbaric almost with the bare legs. Like, yeah, he doesn't look almost dignified as much, or civilized as much, Yeah, for some reason, that kind of gives it that feeling where it's, he's more barbaric or whatever. Like Conan could get away with bare legs, right? Because he's more barbaric, right? And from that time, that Stygian, that time of where magic was still a thing, and yeah, like all that, like there's dinosaurs and fantastic beasts were still roaming the earth, man, and there was magic and all that stuff. So the Hyborian, epic or whatever, man. Yeah. So yes, there we go with some nice, nice details in there, and that's where that's the sort of, it's showing sort of how the leg is formed, the form of the leg, the roundness of the leg, yeah, showing that again with that here, showing the roundness of that calf. His calf there. So, adding some stressed stressed material at the bend of the leg there. You know, again, just sort of getting some dirty inks down, and you know, gonna add some darker tones in there. It's gonna be black basically, you know, but it'll have the pepper, it'll have the salt in the black. There'll be a little bit of salt in the black, you know, little designs. Yeah, like I'll show ye. And in fact, what I will do is I'm going to change up the pen to, what am I going to change it up to? I'm going to change it up to this. I love this. I love this pen. This is great. I've never ever used this for line work before, and I think it's really been quite good. Quite good. And I think it's a dollar store. I think it's a dollar store or Staples little pen set. Yeah, maybe $20 for, like, I don't know, five pens. So yeah, I really like, and they're all different colors. I think this is like the brown pack. They have different shades of brown and a black one. So yeah, it's a good pen for what it's good for. You know what I mean? Like everything else, right? It's good for what it's good for, which is kind of doing soft fills like this. Like I'm filling in the area, but there's nuts and bolts in there. You know, there's like little details sort of in there, and that's sort of an Ernie Chua or Ernie Chan. Those inkers. I think even Tom Palmer would use that kind of technique sometimes. There's different ways. There's different degrees of using this sort of fill technique when you're filling in an area with black, but you want to have some, you want to have some almost detail in there. You know, you almost want to have some surface texture showing with the small fragments of light that are hitting things because it's uneven, you know. That's kind of what you're going for with when you put those little ticks in there, you know. Gives a little bit of texture, a little more texture. And I love texture, you know that. Yeah. You know, and then again, it gives you the option of if you feel that it needs to be toned down, you can put more darkness to it. You can add more black until even it's all black if you want. You know what I mean? Like this is a good starting point for a fill also, like for filling in an area. You know. This kind of fill in with the nuts and bolts and little shards and stuff inside of it. Shards. You heard me. Yeah. Shards. There. Yeah. It's coming together. It's coming together, folks. Thor. Zombie Thor. Yeah. It's happening. It's happening, man. It's happening. Don't kid yourself. Marvel Zombies. Yes, you heard me. I said Marvel Zombie. Marvel Zombies, man. Yeah, the I guess animated mini series, I think is what they're calling it, is happening. I think Wednesday. This Wednesday. Yeah, new comic book day. I think it is. I think it's the 24th. So I think that's Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And if I am, I'm not surprised, because I'm not good with dates. Very not good with dates. Ungood. He's the ungood. Peter the Seed. Spider-Man. Yeah, there, look at that. Huh? Getting some big Thor vibes in there. Big zombie Thor vibes in there. Feeling it. Yeah. Yeah. Thor vibes. And again, like this probably, the way I draw superheroes is like I said, it's kind of like when Mobius and Milo Manara and people like that, Paul Pope, even, and others, like, European guys or indie guys doing Marvel comics, like, the results always are interesting, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't see myself as a specifically comic book artist, but I've done comics. Like, I've done, many comics, in fact. So, but I'm not a comic book artist by trade, or that's not what I do for a living. But I have done comics, and sometimes the results when an outsider or whatever does comics is kind of interesting, or someone who doesn't do superhero comics, rather, doing superhero comics. When you're like someone like Charles Burns or someone like that, doing Fantastic Four, that would blow my mind, man. Yeah, Charles Burns, Charles Burns, again, is sort of, I guess you'd still describe him as an indie comic book writer, artist, creator. But man, like, his work is so incredibly sharp and disturbing and interesting and, different, but absolutely, familiar. It's like a warped version of when the American, like the 50s, almost like that sort of American Dream era, the 50s kind of, but like done in a very eerie sort of way. You have to see it. I'm not doing it justice. I'm kind of talking about more one of his things than all of his stuff. Like, all of his stuff is incredible. Yeah, because he's done way more than that kind of stuff. But it has a very familiar look to it. For those non-comic book people that, are wondering about his work, Incredible stuff. Like, what was the one that I bought in its entirety as it was coming out? Black Hole. Black Hole was amazing. Yeah, so, yeah, check out Charles Burns. I do have Charles Burns. Yeah, Big Boy. That's another Charles Burns thing. I've got one of Charles Burns' things on my wall there. But, yeah, check him out. I like to sort of suggest artists for you guys to check out too. But me first. If you can subscribe to the channel, guys, that would be so utterly fantastic. I would really appreciate that. It really means a lot to me when you do, and a lot of you that have, I cannot thank you enough. Yeah, it means the world to me, and it does, for sure. So, I really appreciate the new subscribers. I, of course, appreciate all subscribers, new and old. But if you could subscribe and help me, sort of achieve more of a higher position in the algorithm stream, that would be wonderful. Like to sort of reach more people and get more eyes on my work and things of that nature. Spread the word of the traditional art. Doing traditional art, I really feel that it's becoming like magic, once was, right? Like it's sort of not going to be a thing anymore, and it'll be a thing of the past where nobody's kind of doing that anymore, like actual art with a pen and like paper, pencil and paper type of thing. Yeah, half the magic. But it's true, Happen to unicorns, man. Yeah, and I feel like keeping it alive is keeping it alive like that, like keeping magic alive, and if nothing, the kids that I saw at the last con I was at, they're just flabbergasted, like they're speechless at like me drawing stuff. It's like they've never seen anything like that before, and they were just like, and they're kids, man. They're like their reactions are as pure as the driven snow, man. So they're reacting to me drawing stuff, and I'm not saying it's because of me. I'm just saying because it's someone drawing something, like creating something, and a little bit me, but but yeah, the wonderment, and it's like it was like magic to them for real. It's like magic, and it is, man. It almost is. Like it's it's the trickery of the eye, man. When you're drawing stuff, that's kind of what it is, right? It's a lot of things, but that's also a component. I think art has a lot to do with communication, communicating an idea, a thought, a feeling, things like that. I think to me that's what art kind of is about. Yeah, communicating with other life forms. Other humans. And again, like that's why when I say I'm honored that you would subscribe to the channel, I really mean that, because that means that you're I have your interest and your support, and like from one human being to another, that's huge, man. And that's the communication. Like we understand each other on the level of liking the art. Not even knowing each other first, and then sort of going, oh, I like that kind of art. I like what you do, So therein lies the sort of communication, and therein lies the sort of, contact with your fellow human, and for you to want to see more of that, and for you to want to enjoy more of it, see what I'm going to do next, and see what. How to do other types of drawings and painting and illustration and all that stuff. If you want to come back for more and check out more by subscribing, that means so much to me, man. Like, how could I not be honored by that? How can I not be, utterly thrilled by your interest? It's whatever human desires, right? So, well, it kind of means that, as an artist, you like my stuff. So that's very cool. And I really appreciate that more than you could imagine, man. So, And again, like if you subscribe to the channel, that means that you're sort of, right into it, man. And I love that. Like I subscribe to many channels, and I really love them. I can't wait for their next thing, Yeah, which is sometimes frustrating because you want it to happen now, yeah. But today ended up being a really good day for a lot of channels that I subscribe to. Actually, there's even some stuff I didn't even get to today, so I'm gonna probably check that out after the live stream. There's Wrestling with Regret. Shout out to Brian Zane. I've subscribed to that channel for forever. And I'm literally going back and liking the videos because I realized I have that feature on my remote. So I'm going back and watching and liking all the videos I've already watched, but they're great for another watch. They're always great for another watch. So yeah, but yeah, it's great. I love YouTube. I think I watch YouTube probably more than. No, I do more than anything else. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I don't sit down and watch a lot of like movies top to bottom. Series too. Like the only series I'm watching is Peacemaker. So yeah. So that's it. Like that's the only thing I'm committed to. I'm calling it TV because that's what it is. It's television, man. Call it streaming, whatever. It's all the same. It's all the same. Like the streaming suppliers or whatever, or networks, they all have commercials. Everything's exactly the same as it always was. It's the same as it ever was. Yeah, it's the same as it ever was, man. Yeah. Oh, Earth, you. Okay, so yeah, I gotta use the different. So that's really coming along. That's really coming along a lot. That's a very sort of unique zombie Thor, big like just outsized arms and yeah, craziness. So where is my fen that I was going to use? Oh, here it is. Okay. So for this, yes, there was a ton of ripped cape stuff that I wanted to do. Yeah. And again, I see the lines underneath, but I'm kind of making up my own thing. I can see the pencil lines underneath, but I'm kind of doing my own ripped cape areas or details the way I want to do the way I want the cape to kind of look ripped. So yeah, it's kind of jagged, Not to the Sam Keith point. I mentioned him the other night too because I was kind of doing a Sam. I was thinking of doing Wolverine in a sort of Sam Keith, way with the giant feet and all that kind of stuff, and the crazy like ripped threads from his costume and do that. But I'm like, no, I don't want to. That's crazy, man. That's too crazy. But Sam Keith did such a great job and using almost like pointillism in comics. I love that, like using real art, traditional art, like styling or techniques for comics. I always loved that. That's why I kind of like the indie comics, because they do that a lot. They actually use, tried and true art techniques in their comic book illustration, Yeah, so I'm kind of making this up as I go along, but I've got some lines underneath there that I can kind of see. But I'm doing Thor's epic ripped cape, like it's all in ribbons and again, not Sam Keith crazy, but But crazy enough, a lot of ripped threads, ripped to shreds, ripped threads, ripped to shreds. Yeah. Yeah, all folded and yeah. I really love these pens. I think these pens are great. For what they're good for, it's almost like a really tight Sharpie, like an almost like impossible Sharpie. That's what this is. Like zero bleed, perfect line, very stiff felt or whatever nib. I don't know if it's felt. That's the thing. It feels different. It doesn't feel like that cheap felt stuff. It feels a little bit more resilient, you know. Yeah, don't know what it is, and that's the thing. Like that's most of the time more expensive brands or pens have that really stiff nib, while the other ones kind of have the kind of felt fall apart nib. And I find Faber-Castell has that felt kind of tip, and I personally don't like it. And I'm only saying that because somebody asked me about that in the chat one night, or maybe in the comments even. And I think I did address it. I think I did address the Faber-Castell thing. I'm not saying they're garbage. I'm saying for what I do with them, I don't like them because they have a sort of a brown tinged ink. And I like it feels like it doesn't feel good to me. It like it doesn't feel good on the paper, you know. Yeah, I just and then like that felt nib it falls apart very fast. I find for what I use it for too. Like, I'm pretty hard on the pens that I use. I think because of the weird surfaces like that, and my methods are basically the same for all the color stuff, right? So all the color stuff is done kind of the same way on watercolor paper. Very rarely do I do black and white stuff, get it transferred to watercolor paper, and then paint it. I usually paint it right on the thing like this, So yeah. And then ink it right on top of that watercolor, which of course I'm doing right now. Yeah. So yeah, I really like that. You know what? I really like this. Yeah, like I like the fingers. Like the fingers look really thick and like like that almost Kirby thickness, man. That proper thickness, man. Yeah, like I love that. It's kind of like that, what was his name? I think it was it José Landron? Was it José Landron? He sort of did a really weird Kirby style, like an almost Mobius Kirby mashup style. But it wasn't intentional. It was intentional, but it seemed like it didn't seem forced, is what I mean. Like that was his style, and I think he did Cable for a while. Was it José Landron? And then he did like Elephant Men. Yeah, and he had such an incredibly cool, unique style. Like it was very Kirby-like, but it had other flourishes of a European style on top of it. So yeah, it was very interesting. Loved his work. I'm sure he's still doing stuff. I think it was José Landron. Yeah. Yeah, but he did, I think The only thing I remember him doing is Cable for Marvel for a while. I don't know what else he did. Maybe other stuff too for Marvel, but I can't remember what else. Oh, an Inhumans. He did an Inhumans miniseries for that Marvel Knight brand, Marvel Knights or whatever brand. Yeah, that they had for a while, that they brought back. They just brought back, right? But yeah, he did an Inhumans story, and again, really great. Like the art was great, but I don't know. I think everybody hates Inhumans for some reason. You know, I like them. I think they're great. You know, they just have to utilize them correctly, like anything else. You know, and I'm talking about the comic, but the more Kirby comic book version of that. You know. Not the movie. Did they do the movie? No, they did a TV series. It was Eternals that they did a movie of. That was not good. Ah, man, that was very unmemorable. Yeah, weird choice, man. Weird choice. That is a weird choice to do a movie of. Yeah, man. I think they make a lot of weird choices. What is it? Disney Marvel? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they made a lot of... they chose poorly. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well. Oh, well. I literally... Here's this. I can give you my opinion. It's just like anyone else's. And who cares, right? You know, I can give you my opinion, but here's the thing. I'll tell you this. When I don't like something anymore, I just stop consuming it or watching it or whatever. And I kind of don't care, you know? Because at this point, I just know that, like, none of the things that, like, beloved things that I used to enjoy as a kid or whatever are gonna be the same. Like, I just know that's not a possibility, right? And, you know, things are just different, and it's mostly because of how things are done, you know, how things are operated in those levels of you know, filmmaking, you know. So I mean, they have to get relatively close to what, you know, you expect, but that's not a guarantee. So, you know, you're often going to be disappointed. And, you know, there comes a time, too, where guys like me, they don't make stuff for me anymore. I've outgrown whatever they're doing, and, you know, it's not made for me. It's made for a different type of audience. And that's fine. Then I just don't watch it anymore, you know. Like, it's just that simple. Because I don't have time to waste on stuff that I'm not interested in. Like I said, the only series I watch right now is Peacemaker, and you know what? It comes on once a week, and that's like that's the top level of my commitment to anything, like entertainment wise. You know, yeah. And you know, I watch YouTube all the time when I'm just like, you know, having a coffee or having dinner or whatever. I'll put YouTube on, and you know, often even fall asleep to it because I'll watch something for the third or fourth time that I enjoyed, and it'll just be lights out, man. So yeah. So yeah, man, look at that. That Thor is really coming along. Yeah. What about that? What about getting some mega details on in that cape? Yeah, it's all ripped up, and it's all ripped and flowing. And yeah, like this is maybe him coming out of the zombie maker, man. Baron Baron Zemo's Zombie Maker. It's Thor! No! We're doomed. It's Thor, he's a zombie. We're doomed. Be back next issue for Zombie Thor. Back from Valhalla. And he's pissed off because he's got to come back. He's got to come back from Valhalla. I was kicking it in Valhalla, man. Oh, Tina. Hey, everybody. Hey, Tina. Checking the chat. When was that left? Hopefully it was recent. Oh, I can't tell. Gotta get back there. There. Yeah, so just checking the chat there. Hello, Tina. Checking out some zombie drawings. We're drawing Marvel zombies tonight, finishing the 5. Like to do drawings in 5s almost. I kind of do that. Even the zombie pinups. I've got about 5 of those on the go too. There's a bunch of there's a bunch of other things in there, man. Yeah. So I like to do things almost in 5s, especially color things, because I can, mix a color and do 5 things at the same time, like 5 color drawings at the same time with the same washes, basically, or similar, And that's when I do Pokemon characters. I often will try to do ones that are, relatively the same color if I can manage it. And then kind of do 5 to even 10 at a time. I'll do like maybe 4 or 5 complex ones, 1 or 2 medium ones, and then like 3 or 4 simple ones. And then I'll draw them all and do all the initial ink or watercolor washes, and then start inking them. And I usually do the inking at conventions, which I will be doing this weekend at CreatureCon. So if you guys want to come to CreatureCon, get tickets. It is the 26th and 27th, I believe. It's Friday, Saturday. It's Friday, Saturday at Les Place des Arts in downtown Sudbury, Ontario. Yeah, and I'll be there, and I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. There's a lot of horror film royalty guests there. There's vendors. Oh man, like there's so much stuff going on. Films, vendors, horror vendors from long ago. And a lot of surprises, guys. You should really consider going if you want, even if you just want something to do that's cool. Friday, Saturday, even if you're not into horror, there's some just cool stuff going on. So check that out. CreatureCon happening this Friday, Saturday at Les Place des Arts. Downtown Sudbury. Yeah, I'll be there, man. I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. It's always a great one. So yeah. I'm happy to be there. I did a lot of the artwork for the event. In fact, I did zombie portraits of all of the 4 guests, the 4 main acting guests. So I did zombie portraits of them, which are going to be available at the con. that you could get signed by them. Also, I did the exclusive print for the convention, and it is really awesome, actually. It is a sort of a ripoff or homage or whatever you want to call it, swipe, recreation of an EC Comics cover, a classic EC Comics cover, but with the guests in it. And there's a little surprise in there too. There's a little nod to one of the other unknown guests, Vincenzo Natali. Vincenzo Natali did the Cube. He directed the Cube. He I believe wrote and directed the Cube, which I'm sure everybody knows. And he did more recently, but still quite a while ago, Splice. With Sarah Polley and I can't remember his name now. He's got the big beak nose. I can't remember his name, but yeah. And then he actually did a short film for Guillermo del Toro's Dr. Caligari's Box of Mystery or something show. Yeah, Vincenzo Natali did a short, and it's awesome. It's it's fantastic. In fact, all of those shorts are fantastic. Like I think every single one of them. I don't think there was a crappy one out of all of them. Not that I remember anyway. Like all of them are amazing. Yeah. Panos Cosmatos did one. Oh my goodness. Yeah, like they were all good. The rat one, oh my goodness, was amazing. Yeah. That's a really great series. I wish I could get that on Blu-ray or DVD. Yeah, The Closet of Dr. Caligari. That's what it is. And Guillermo del Toro basically rounded up a bunch of his, director friends and acquaintances and maybe suggestions and who knows, who else. But I know he knew a lot of those directors that he got to do that series, and they're amazing. Yeah. There. Zombie Thor. Yeah. We did it. It's true. Zombie Thor. Yum yum. Oh, that's good. Okay. All right. So we got Zombie Thor done. Yeah, he's pretty much done. Like he's pretty done. I might. You know what I'm gonna do, right? Put a heavier holding line on the helmet wings. I like those giant wings. Has that sort of Barry Smith vibe, to them. And again, I'm trying to use as much of the page as possible because not only was this watercolor paper a little foreign to me, but it's also much smaller than the size I'm used to drawing on. Yeah. So a lot of accommodations I had to make for this kind of paper, and I had to kind of change my own style to accommodate the roughness of this paper. So what is it? Like he's got a T there? Is that T? It is. Oh, but it's okay. It's got thickness to it. What did I just drop there? Drop something. Oh well. Yeah, it's actually drawn in there. Okay. Well, I kind of like that. That looks kind of good. It's still in a circle though, and then he's got the wings. He's got wings coming out of it. Oh man, that is a classic Thor. Kirby Thor, man. Kirby style. Yeah. Yeah, there's also, there's always little things. There's also little things that you're going to notice after you finish it that, you'll see. Like, that's why I leave stuff on my table for maybe a day or overnight, and in the morning I'll look at it and go like, oh, you know what? I forgot to do this, or I should definitely, that needs to be, I see it with different eyes, and then, you sort of make those provisions, and you fix things, and you tweak stuff. And you do so with absolutely the intent of making it better, making it. You're not trying to overload it with anything or put detail or overload it with anything or make it anything else. You're just trying to make it better, more like read better, So you look at things like. Shadows and where they can be utilized or if they should be utilized, black spotting, where your blacks are and stuff like that. Does it offer enough contrast? There's all sorts of things that, you sort of, eventually just do automatically, so that therein lies the part where, people want to know how do you do that? How is that done? The answer is usually with a lot of instinct from practice, and that's why I think every artist worth their salt will always say practice as much as you possibly can. And it's like anything. It's like any talent, right? It's like any kind of thing like that. If you want to be a great guitarist, just keep on practicing and stuff. So, of course I'm going to say that. But what do you practice? Like, and if you're gonna say, what do I practice? If you're gonna ask what do I practice, I would just immediately say draw from life. Draw from life with pencil on paper in a sketchbook. If you're gonna ink stuff, if you're gonna do art like this, get a brush pen. Again, like this is a dollar store brush pen right here, dollar store brush pen, man. Yeah, they're wonderful. They're wonderful. Get a brush pen. Get like one of these guys. You'll see them. They're right there. They're right there in the stationery aisle, basically at the dollar store. And set yourself up for a very modest cost, and start drawing. Start doing some drawings. Yeah. Yeah. There. I think that looks pretty cool. Pretty cool, eh? There. Oh. Whoa. There. Yeah. Zombie Thor. I like it. Douche. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. I might add, well, I'm going to add probably some, highlights and that in there, but for the Tim being, it's pretty tight. I like it. Now on to some Wolverine. Care for a piece of fruit? Snicked. You all saw it, man. You all saw it. It was on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, man. Wolverine had a kind of a Australian accent, I want to say. And yeah, I think that's his only line in the whole show. Yeah, but That's the first time Wolverine, man, ever did anything, was ever in anything that like animation or any kind, depicted other than comics, That was weird to see as a kid. Yeah. Wolverine. What an enduring character, man. Holy cow. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. He's been in like everything, But still incredibly popular, man. Like, who doesn't like the claws, man? The claws are wicked. The claws are so cool. So I'm putting some detailing into the torso here. That's sort of like, musculature that, is rotting and stuff like that. But, I'm going under the assumption that his healing factor is still kicking in and trying to like repair him, and it's driven him insane. Like he's stark raving mad, and maybe in a brief moment of lucidity he'll try to warn people that he's warn people to run from him type of thing, but otherwise he's in full beast mode, insane beast mode. I don't know. I think that's right. I don't care. I can't care anymore. I can't do the caring thing anymore. Yeah, I think that's his gimmick. I think that's his get up. I think that's what it looks like. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna work on the Hulk. Yeah, Hulk. Punny human. That's what I used to think he said. Punny. When I was a kid, I would read it in the comics. I'd be like, "Oh, what's a punny human? It's puny." Yeah, punny. It's very punny of you. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Oh, it's puny. Punny human. I think I even asked my mom. I was like, "Mom, what's punny?" She's like, "What? What are you even talking about, you fool? Away from me." Away from me. Punny humans. Yeah, I love the Hulk, man. Love those. I think a buddy of mine brought a bunch of Hulk comics on a school trip once, and they were actually the Marvel superheroes, I think, ones, the reprints. But man, still they were great. I think they were the Herb Trimp, John and Marie Severin issues, in that era, and then like they jumped ahead to, I think, the just Herb Trimp issues of the later on times. Yeah. So, but yeah, they were the reprints of the Hulk comic, but Hulk nonetheless. And yeah, man, such awesome artwork in there, from Trimp and yeah, John and Marie Severin, man, like that inking. Well, I guess they weren't really a duo. They kind of did their own things, but. Or maybe they did sometimes team up. I can't remember now, but man, their inking would just elevate anyone's pencils, man. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful stuff. And here we go with some Zombie Hulk, man. For Marvel Zombies. Coming, this is part 2. This is part 2 of the Marvel Zombies live stream. Part 1 is the very last episode. And check that out. You'll see how these happened. You'll see how I got to this point. Usually I try to do big sort of batches like this. I mean, there's 5 of them. I call it a big batch. Usually I do these between two videos. So I think like the zombie portraits of the guests at CreatureCon. I think that was a two night affair as well. And yeah, there's been many where it's like basically 2 nights, 2 live streams, and it's from scratch. Stuff from scratch is completed because again, I want to show you guys how it's done, right? Like you want to see the process. So I understand. A lot of folks like to see the process of stuff. And it blows my mind how much people like to see that. So I'm like, yeah, man, I'll hook you up. I'll hook you up for sure for the process stuff because yeah, I didn't get that when I was a kid, right? Like there was no YouTube or the internet or Sky or rocks. No. There wasn't anything like that to kind of bounce off of or get like clue in on how to do it. You kind of just you figured it out and then went, well, I guess I need this to get that kind of line and I do that kind of art and whatever. And there's a couple of things you could maybe read about how comic book artists did stuff. But again, it wasn't like today where, man, you could really do anything you want through learning how to do it online. That's how wonderful that is. I really love that element of the information age. Not much else, but that especially. And again, not necessarily for me exactly, but for other people. Like young me, where I craved that information, but there was no way to, you couldn't just even go to your library and go like, how do comic book artists do their stuff? You have to wait till how to draw Marvel comics the Marvel way, or how to do comics the Marvel way, or something like that, and, those things kind of didn't exist, right? So, no internets. So you have to kind of figure it out on your own, And this is kind of the continuation of me figuring things out on my own, Because I'm still doing it. Still doing it. There. That's some great Hulk details in there. I like that. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I like it. I think it's good. I think it's good. It's good for what it's good for. Yeah, he's got the those Sal Buscema Hulk eyes, pupils. Yeah. I always go back to his Hulk. I love this Hulk so much. Yeah. And I'm kind of making things up as I go along too here because I'm like, okay, you know what? That hair needs to. It looks too one-dimensional. I'm gonna add some dimension to the skull on the top of the head. So adding different hair design aspects in there. We'll do that. and then putting that little crown in there. Again, another Sal Buscema sort of thing that he did. He'd have that middle crown where his hair, you could see that. It's like a little star, right? Like a little star where his hair started, I love that. I love that. I love that kind of old style detail, Yeah, having that in there is just like, wow, cool. Makes it gives dimension to the head. It gives dimension to the head a lot, so yeah. So there we go. We're just working on Marvel Zombies, the Hulk especially right now. We're doing some cool gnarly details on his forearm, which is like, bulging and incredibly vascular, lots of weird little details in there, zombie characteristics, kind of holes in the flesh and hanging flesh and things like that, and other strange constituents in the skin, making him look almost, mutated further, and zombified at the same time, like that kind of, that kind of setup where he's like mutating it and dead at the same time. Probably because of his healing ability, distorting some of the regrowth tissue. Here I am, just like creating the lore of the. Well, that's the thing, right? You kind of do that when you create a character that you're drawing. Give it a backstory. I always say the backstory, man. Give it that backstory. Give it a reason to exist. If it doesn't, if there's no reason for it to exist, why are you drawing it, right? What are you drawing if it doesn't have a reason to exist? So give it that backstory. And like I said, even like those peripheral characters in the background, draw them better too. Give them a reason to be there. What are they doing? Yeah, all of those little thoughts go into creating that image, So yeah, always think of those things, and you'll create that character better. You'll do that drawing better, And experience in art is also experience in just life too, because all of your experiences go into your art, right? Like all the experiences that you have, everything you've ever touched or felt or experienced in whatever way goes into the things that you create, right? So that's another thing that makes it so incredibly unique when you do a drawing of any kind, right? It's going to be entirely you, a distillation of your experiences. There. Yeah. He's ornery, man. He's totally zombified, so he's not he ain't taking no guff. He ain't taking no guff, this Hulk. Yeah, his hands are, I'm gonna make his hands a little bit funky because they're sort of rotting or decaying, or maybe they got blown off. Maybe his hand got blown off and it's still trying to, like, recreate itself. Yeah. Yeah. And again, having those, those kinds of comic booky sort of lines in there. That those, thin, thick lines you get with the brush pen or the brush, like seeing those dudes, like those guys doing inking with the brush is just incredible, man. Like Joe Sinnott. Oh my goodness. There was a guy, there was an inker that, again, he was like, he would so bring class and dimension to anyone's pencils, man. And then when you put him with a guy like Kirby, and it's like the most astonishing duo in comics probably ever. I know there's a lot of duos out there that are incredible. Adams and Palmer, Buscema and Palmer, Byrne and Austin, and Bissett, Toddleben, and Moore, and like there's a million great groups in comics, man. But they were one of the big I think influencers too. So yeah, comics. All you do is like comics. It's true, I do. All you do is like Godzilla. It's true, I do. Godzilla. Yeah, I gotta get back to doing some Godzilla. You know what? Here's this, guys. If you're into Godzilla at all, check out my Patreon page for an actual, like, straight up. There's one zombie Godzilla in the series, but I did a series of Godzilla drawings on colored paper, and like all the different Godzillas from different eras, and even the toy Godzilla, that Mattel toy Godzilla, did a version of him too. But again, not zombie, just straight up Godzilla, man. If you want to check that out, there's a ton of them. Like, I think there's 15 different versions of Godzilla there. Just go to the Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Type Godzilla into the search bar, and you'll see tons more Godzilla stuff than just that. But those Godzilla drawings on colored paper are in there, and they're quite interesting, man. I really like them. So yeah, if you're into Godzilla at all, check those out for sure. Like, those are really fun. Yeah, and they're straight up, man. They're not. There's one zombie version in there, but for most of them, they're straight up Godzilla drawings on colored paper. Yeah, colored paper, and I was like, what do I do with this? And I thought, oh, you know what? I'll see how a Godzilla drawing works out on it. And the next thing I know, I was like hooked on it, and I was hooked on Chronic. I was hooked on it, and I really, really enjoyed doing that series. I was like, man, I'm doing a series on this. It was really fun. It was really fun working on that weird colored paper. I'd never done that before. So I think that's another thing that makes it kind of unique, is the fact that I was almost experimenting as I was doing it, and it just turned out great. So I was very lucky. Yeah, I just changed that because I remembered what the Hulk foot looked like in the comics, and that's why I changed this. Because I changed it more to look like it does in the comic. Last minute, because those two toes were too close together. Yeah, but I changed it. Because I remembered, no, you know what, in the comic, though, his big toe and the next toe are further apart. And I remember that from seeing that in the comics, yeah. So I just changed it last second with the ink. Yeah. Went on my hunch. Yeah, it does look much more like the comic book Hulk foot. Yeah. But I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the pants. First, well, you know what? I'm going to do the details in him first. Look at that Thor, though. Thor, though, agrees. Morbo agrees. I love this Thor. I think the Thor looks great. Yeah. Yeah. I really like it. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's good. I think the Hulk is getting there too. I really like the way the Hulk is shaping up here. Yeah, looks really good. Like I love the details, the veins and the like the flesh and like the almost bony areas. Like his hand is withered and weird. Like he's got weird, like, I don't know, growths or flesh missing there or something. But yeah, I like this, and like the grimace on his face, grimace. Yeah, but the like he's really angry. Yeah, he's really angry, man. Yeah. No, I really like that. I really like how that turned out, and I really love the way, like he's almost, you know, the way you can really see the way he's walking, because you know he's got that movement in his hips. You know, his hips don't lie. But yeah, I love the way the feet turned out. I really do. I really I really like the way everything sort of fits together and works, and yeah, like the ankle and all that stuff, and like even the even this foot that's in more of the shadow, like it's still gonna look good. I'm gonna add, you know, some details in there, but I'm gonna darken some areas up. But that looks great. I think that looks really good. Just gonna add more to the, you know, devastation of that hand or arm. It's all weird and wonky. Maybe there's like, yeah, I actually I penciled that in there. Okay, that's good. Okay. Yeah. Again, you're like kind of just riffing on things, guys. You know, making it up. I'm using the pencils underneath the watercolor washes slightly as a guideline, because I mean I drew it, so I might as well, you know, use the drawing. But I'm being very light about it. I'm using those lines as a guideline more than a definite guide or a definite line I have to go on. You know, so I'm kind of making a few things up as I go along here. Like I said, using those lines as a guide more than you know, a true line. So yeah. Just to let you know, kind of the thought process behind what I'm doing and how I'm drawing stuff. You know, like I'm putting this shoulder much more in the foreground, and you know the way it integrates with his back, it's really showing him moving forward. You know, with that great movement there, that great movement. You know, in the hips and the shoulders, you know, but I'm going to just lightly insinuate some detail in there, and that is going to be his knee, and I'm going to probably darken that knee up a little bit too, but I'm going to kind of go with the hatching, the haphazard sort of hatching for his pants here, and work it out like that, and then perhaps get darker and get more detailed in terms of showing the fabric. So right now I'm just doing this very haphazard hatching line, showing kind of the texture of it, but then I'm gonna darken it and adjust it basically as I go. So right now it's just a sort of a base, and maybe in the areas a little bit more than a base, but mostly just a base. And even on the foot here, I'm going to use that same technique, but I might end up adding some small details in there too. But again, that's sort of a base, like, oh, you know what, maybe there's a vein up there, and I want to show that, and so I'll make it a little lighter and or darker, because I have leeway with these lines. It's not all black. It's not all just pitch black. There's some light in there, so I can adjust that. I can make it all black, or I can, make little details in there that represent the texture of the fabric or the direction of the fabric, Yeah. So all those things come into play, when you're drawing. I like to explain stuff because I kind of learn that way too, where if somebody's doing something and explaining it, that's kind of the best way for me to learn in that sense. But I mostly do everything on my own. Like, I discover my own things, whether they've been discovered or not already doesn't really matter. It's just that I'm using that because it's close by and plentiful to me, and I know how to use it, and I looked for it, and there it is, and that's what I'm using. And then, like, well, how do I do color? I'll use watercolor, and then I'll ink over it because that's how I do stuff. That's my method. But I found that out on my own. I didn't kind of read up about it, and again, like I didn't invent it. In general, I just invented it for myself, or I figured out how to do that on my own type of thing, Mostly, again, like with materials I already had, So it's like, oh, I got this watercolor. I know it's pretty plentiful and fairly, affordable, and it goes a long way, and these are the great qualities of it. So I'm going to use watercolor, and since I like inking, this is going to be my process. So that's how I kind of arrived at how I do things. So, and a lot of people have asked me over the years, what my method is, because they can't pinpoint it sometimes, and I'm not I think most artists can figure out how I do stuff, like the process, maybe by looking at it. I don't know, but yeah, it's fairly basic, right? It's fairly basic. But I learned to do this method of art more on my own than looked up how to do it in a book or something, or see a video. Because like I said, I grew up without things like YouTube and the internet in general. So yeah, I kind of just figured things out on my own, And if other people do it, great. Or if other people want to learn from me in the sense that this method works. Here's a fast track to using it. Then by all means, you use the same kind of things for your traditional art. If you're doing traditional art, right? So yeah. So yeah, that looks that's a great Hulk, man. That's a angry Hulk. Yeah, I'm gonna really add a lot more details and veins and shtick up here. A lot of detail in the zombie Hulk. It's a zombie Hulk, so man, there's so much stuff you can add to the surface, texture of this monster. Yeah, so much nice, interesting things you can add in there. Holes and craters and drips and drops, veins, boils. Oh man, like, yeah, the sky's the limit for this kind of thing. Hulk, zombie, man, like, oh my goodness. Yeah, there's so much stuff you can kind of do. And of course, you're watching me do this live, and if you want to see the beginnings of these, go to the very last episode and check that out. And guys, check out some of the shorts. It's the gateway drug to more content, for sure, on the channel. And if you could subscribe to the channel, it would it would really mean a lot to me. It would really help me get into the next levels of the algorithm stream, and perhaps get in front of some more eyes who would like to watch my shenanigans, the drawings and stuff. I've been an artist for about 40 years. 40 years now. Professional artist, man. So look me up. Look me up. About 40 years now being a professional artist. Now doing more zombie work. Doing stuff in that genre, the horror genre. I created zombie portraits back in 2006. And I've been doing those ever since. I've done over 10,000 zombie portraits atop the world. So that's a lot of art right there. I've done Zombie Daily, which is where this art basically goes on my Patreon page. Zombie Daily, a new zombie drawing or painting posted online on Zombie Daily every single day since 2008. So that is a heck of a lot of zombie art. I wrote and illustrated the Zombie Handbook. And I've had quite a career with the zombie artwork. It's been quite interesting. Worked for the Walking Dead show. Did a deck of zombie cards, playing cards for bicycle cards. Man, that was awesome. That was really awesome. Working for the Walking Dead show was very, very, very awesome as well. So I've had quite a time doing the zombie thing, guys. And if you'd like to see more artwork, more zombie artwork, check out Zombie Daily for that. And become a member of the page. Subscribe to the page. Subscribe to this channel. That would be utterly, utterly fantastic. I just want to thank all the people who, again, have recently joined the page. Guys, I can't tell you how much that means to me. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of the subscribers to this page. Guys, those of you who've been with me for a long time, thank you. Those who are new, thank you too. Really, really, really means a lot, guys. So thanks a lot. Check out Zombie Daily for more zombie art than you could possibly imagine in one place. It's true. There's some nice zombie Hulk action. More Marvel Zombies coming up for the Marvel Zombies show. the miniseries, the animated miniseries. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. I think I will watch it. I think I will check it out. It looks pretty darn good. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Disney, with the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing. That's Disney, I guess. Yeah. No, I'm not sure what's happening with that. They're putting him back on the air or something. I heard today. Which, wow, what a weird world we live in, man. Like, oh, so bizarre, so bizarre, so bizarre. Yeah. Wow. And I just hear these things, they just float around in my, float around. I see the headlines on YouTube, on channels, and X is such a awful place to be. I post there sometimes because I have followers, so I post on X for my followers. I post zombie art and stuff on there, and talk about where I'm going to be convention wise, and whether I'm doing a live stream. So yeah, I'm on X to communicate with my fans there. But wow, what an awful platform! It's just nothing but political stuff, and I don't even think it's people that I follow that are posting that stuff. It's just there, right? I don't know how that works, but yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess you just see that regardless of who you're following. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But anyway, yeah, that's awful. You can't avoid it. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, right? So, well, this is what I do to relax my brain and calm myself from the events of the world that are troubling. Do some art, man. Do some art. And that's why I do it. That's why I do it. It's not for that specifically, but I love drawing, guys. I think you can tell. I hope that you guys do too. I hope that you maybe pick up some little tips and pointers and things from what I'm doing, and or just sit back, relax, and enjoy the guy drawing the things. The guy drawing the zombies, that's cool too. You can fall asleep, turn the volume off, and just watch drawings be made. Yeah. So I think this Hulk is virtually finished. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's a great zombie Hulk, man. I love that. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. I'm happy with it. Yeah. So, we got Hulk, we got Thor. Let's see. Can I do Wolverine? What time do we got? What time do we have? 11:25. Let's see if I can do it in 35 minutes. If I can ink Wolverine in 35 minutes. Let me take another sip of coffee here. So what does that leave? Oh, that leaves Iron Man and Spider-Man. Let me just, I just want to do this bottom jaw here. Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I wanted to do for Spidey. I just wanted to get that mouth done. Yeah. There. I can't help it. I really want to do it. But I want to get the Wolverine done. I think the Wolverine one might be faster to do than the Spider-Man one. Might take a longer time. So I think I'll leave it to later. Yeah. Yeah. Poor Peter Parker. He tried so hard. Yeah. He fought valiantly, but he eventually succumbed to the hordes and was infected. And now he's a Marvel zombie. Yeah. And he can't help it anymore. He can't help it anymore. Yeah. He's got to feed. Yeah, he's got to feed. So it's too bad for him, but this is an alternate universe too, right? Well, yeah. I mean, even originally in the original what do you call it? Marvel Zombies. They first appeared in the Ultimate Fantastic Four comic, which that universe doesn't even exist anymore, unless it does, and I don't know about it. Like in Marvel canon, rather. If I don't know about it, yeah, yeah, it might exist in some way, shape, or form. But I thought Miles Morales, like I said before, I thought Miles Morales was the only one who survived that universe and came to the 316, or the 616 rather, 616. What am I saying? Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. They're definitely not gonna. The Marvel Zombies that they're gonna do, I'm sure, will have nothing to do with the Marvel Zombies of the comics. In terms of how they originated, because how would they explain that? Ultimate universe that doesn't exist anymore. I'm sure they could do it in exposition. Yeah, that's probably how they could do it. Yeah, exposition takes care of everything. Yeah, I like this zombie Wolverine though. He looks good. He looks savage. He looks rotting. It looks like he wants it. It looks like he's kind of regenerating, but the zombie virus is eating him alive as he's regenerating, I think, which again is driving him insane. So that therein lies the danger of zombie Wolverine. As if he wasn't dangerous enough. Yeah, and his hair maybe is falling out, and yeah. Yeah. I like it. I like it. I like it. What if I did do those slashes in his costume blue? I could probably do it. I could probably do it with marker. It would cover up that yellow, I think. Because there's a base of pencil on there too. Plus there's a base of gray on there too. So, you know what? I'm going to try it. This is me taking chances. Yeah, you know what? That looks good. Yeah, I like it. Or rather, I don't mind it. It's not like oh, I love it, but I think it's fine. Like I think putting that blue on there with the marker or whatever. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not distracting. I thought if it was distracting and it didn't make sense, it looked weird or whatever, then I would change it. But no, I think it looks fine, and it's not distracting. So yeah, I'm keeping my baby. Yeah. So he's got the big X. Yeah. Zombie Wolverine. Zombie Wolverine. It's true. Yeah, I like it. Okay. I like putting the reflective light on the muscles there too. Giving it a little bit more macabre look, like having that kind of lighting effect on things, come through, making it look a little bit horror oriented, Yeah. There. Yeah, I really like that. Zombie Wolverine. Zombie now. What's not to like? You see if whoa! Look at all the man. I leave the chat for one moment and it's like full. Heaven, what do you use to color? I use watercolor. I use watercolor paint. Yeah. Here's some of it right here. This is watercolor paint. That's what I use, and then I ink on top of it. So there is watercolor and ink. That's the Thor, zombie Thor, of course. So there's that. So yeah, I use watercolor. That's what that is. And you know what? Sometimes I put marker on top of that, and sometimes I use highlight pen, and I'll use anything, but mostly it's watercolor. I put a watercolor base down first, and again, like if you want to see the process, there's tons of process videos that you can watch too. In fact, in the last episode, I used the watercolor to get to this point. So if you want to check that out, yeah, please do. Sick. Dude, these are so incredibly awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Tina, I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. James Yule, looks groovy. Yeah, thanks, man. James Yule, thanks for stopping in. Tina, my son is named after Wolverine. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to say it's Logan. Yeah. Guys, thanks for watching. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize how many folks were on the chat. I checked earlier, but then it kind of exploded. So thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to the channel if you can. I am going to continue doing Marvel Zombies while you watch, you sick perverts. Yeah, I'm doing Marvel Zombies, guys. The I guess animated mini-series, I think they're calling it, is happening this Wednesday, I think is the premiere of it, on the Disney Channel, if you still have it, if you haven't canceled it yet. But yeah, it looks pretty good though, man. Like, it looks pretty good. The animation, I thought, because I guess they debuted in the in the What If series. They were in the What If series, and I remember the animation looking really cool. They had that wicked Captain America zombie, and I thought, man, the animation looked really wicked. I really like the animation for that What If I guess series too, so that was kind of cool. Yeah. I don't know, well, obviously it's some kind of computer generated thing, of course, but I'm not sure how they kind of did that animation. It moved strangely, like not in a bad way, but like in a way that I didn't recognize from other animated programs. Like, yeah, I've never seen that animation before. You know what I mean? It was very different, but cool. Like, very cool, you know? Yeah. So, of course, they're using that same animation style for the Marvel Zombies thing. which I think is awesome. Because yeah, that artwork or that animation style is very neat. I hope it's not AI. Like it almost kind of looks something like that, but I really hope it isn't. It just kind of has that almost robotic feel or underlying current to it, But I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I kind of like it. I must say, I have to admit, I kind of like the animation that they're using for that show, the Marvel Zombies cartoon or animated thing. People don't like to use the word cartoon, I guess, anymore because it sounds kind of juvenile. So it's an animated series, But yeah, here we go with the Wolverine, and again, like he still has eyes. He still has eyes that are trying to regenerate, and they continue to rot out of his skull, driving him mad. Yeah. So I kind of like that. I think that's a good Wolverine zombie head. And when I add the hair details, it'll really come about. Yeah, I love this. I actually really like this Wolverine. It's turning out pretty good. Pretty good there. Yeah, kind of has like like I was mentioning earlier, that what's his name, Stephen Platt kind of like rough crosshatch inking thing, that Steve McNiven I think kind of appropriated. Kind of that style, I think, a little bit. That sort of David Finch, Steve McNiven, Stephen Platt kind of inking style, with heavy cross hatching and stuff like that, It's like a tighter, more competent version of what the Image guys were kind of like, It's like if Rob Liefeld could draw really well, if he studied art and could draw anatomy really well, and became an actual real artist, that's kind of how those guys roll, like the Steve McNivens and that, like, they're really competent artists, but they have that, like, they do that really crazy and beautiful detail, like that really nice, cross hatching and stuff in the limbs and in the veins and in the fabrics and in all the stuff, So I really like that style. I think it's fun, It's fun. You're not fun. Yeah, there's some, again, nice details in there, showing some battle damage, rot, things of that nature. Bullet holes, like, even as he goes and like he's being shot and stuff, those things might still be healing. But then, there will be a point where, if he's rotting too fast or whatever, if something's happening to him, it takes a long time for those areas to heal. So he might have, any number of holes still in his arms, legs, torso, head, whatever, But yeah, it's one of those. He probably looked like some kind of weird morphing creature, because like the rotting is happening almost as quickly as the regeneration is happening. Like the virus is coursing through, destroying all the tissue, and then the the mutant power is trying to like reestablish it, you know, creating this like almost rippling effect to his like when in Shin Godzilla where he begins to like turn into the next phase of his evolution. He kind of has that rippling effect, you know. So that maybe this Wolverine kind of has that too, because he's decaying as fast as he's, you know, repairing himself, you know. Things you think about. Like, it's things you think about when you're developing a character, when you're doing the character, and you're trying to give the character a purpose, right? You know, what's the character doing? Why is the character a zombie? And if so, how did the character turn into a zombie? What are the effects of that? Yada yada yada. You know, tons of things. You know, things that you think about when you draw. Always create that backstory for your character, no matter how infinitesimal that character might be. See you this weekend. Yeah, great. All right, Tina, fantastic. See you this weekend at CreatureCon. I'm assuming that's awesome. Yeah, CreatureCon, guys. Oh my goodness. That is going to be a big deal this weekend. Friday, Saturday at Plaza des Arts. CreatureCon, man. CreatureCon 4. CreatureCon 4. Yeah, CreatureCon 4. You know what? I have the original. I have the original art for the. There. Remember that? Remember this? Yeah, CreatureCon number 4. This is the exclusive print, the original artwork for the exclusive print for CreatureCon this year. So yeah, check that out. Well, hey, if you want to see me do this, create this, there's Vincenzo Natali's Splice character. Put that in as a little nod to Vincenzo Natali, because he's going to be there too. But yeah, guys, this was all done in a live stream. So if you want to check out how I did this, check out some of the live streams here, and you'll see it in the thumbnail. You'll see it in the thumbnail, so you can actually just click on that, watch it. If you want to watch me do that, that was quite an interesting. That I think I used. I even said in the video, I'm pretty sure I used the most diverse amount of materials, in fact even digital, because there's on the side of that comic cover, which is from an old EC comic, there's like those little bubbles where the characters' faces are in there, and what I did was I used the actual zombie portraits I did of those characters in those bubbles, but I did that digitally. So I used like marker, paint, pencil, pen and ink, watercolor, like everything on that. Yeah, pencil, crayon too. Yeah, everything on that. So I think I've used the most like materials on that than anything else I've ever done. So yeah, check out how I did it. And in one of the live streams that are up there, because yeah, you can see the whole thing. It's kind of neat. We're just adding the loose sort of details for the texture of the fabric, and the intensity value of it too, like how intense that shadow is going to be. So I'm adding that in softly, because I'll be able to adjust it later for contrast. So you know, I might add way more contrast or lessen the contrast in that area if I want to show the claws more, if I want to show the claws coming out more, you know. And I think the claws are coming out in a weird kind of way too, because he's rotting, and so the claws are coming out at different, like in different areas in different ways. Like they're not coming out clean like they should or normally do or whatever. I know he's got the covers on his gloves, but he doesn't have the gloves on here. The blue gloves. He's just got the. You can actually see the meat being like torn when he's popping his claws. So yeah. And then again for this, he's got his claws here. Yeah, see how close I'm getting to the edge of the paper? This is what I would always tell my students, like always put like a border around so you don't go off the page. But this because the paper is smaller than I'm used to, I'm going really close to the edge of the page for this. Like it's actually intentional, But normally I would never go that close to the page, because it causes tension. Like it looks weird, It looks like you didn't plan it, So always plan, always plan. If you have trouble keeping your image inside the page, just put a really light pencil border. That's what I would literally start my classes off when we would start doing art for whatever, live, life drawings and stuff like that. I would always tell my students to put that border on there to just stay inside the page for whatever drawing. Especially, if we're doing life drawings, you want the whole thing on the page, right? Like, how am I even supposed to mark it without the whole thing being there, right? So, yeah, you can get artsy and all that other stuff later on and have things go off the page, but for right now, we're doing a life drawing and I want to see the whole thing. So, keep everything on the page. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, that's a thing. That's a thing, That's a thing you have to sort of do when you're drawing virtually anything that you want to keep on the page, right? And I like the hair here. Yeah, and I mean you can go off the page with any number of design, any number of compositions and stuff. But for this specifically, this kind of art that I'm doing, you kind of want everything to be on the page, show the whole character. I'm not necessarily doing a cover, right? So I'm just doing a spot image of a character as a zombie. So I want to get that whole character on the page. And man, I'm really digging this. I'm really liking the thick holding line, adding to that real comic book feel, singing a song. Yeah. And I'm going to get a little darker in there. And yeah, I'm using a dollar store brush pen. Yeah. 'Cause he's a dollar store brush pen. Got that in his hand. Yeah, dollar store brush pen. Dollar store watercolor paper. Yeah. We're going super professional. Yeah. Well, you know what, guys? This is. I do Zombie Daily. Zombie Daily is basically my Patreon page. I've been posting new zombie art on that page, or a Zombie Daily page of some kind until it changes format. Since 2008, so I've been doing a new zombie drawing every single day since 2008. Gets expensive after a while, right? So you try to find materials that you can use that aren't breaking the bank, and basically that's why I have the Patreon page. It's to all the proceeds from the Patreon page go to art supplies. That's it. That's all I basically use that money for. So when you if you're putting it, like if you're donating $2 a month, that's where that money goes. So the cooler, like the more people that subscribe and donate to the channel to support the support the page rather, the bigger and better and cooler and more interesting the art supplies I get can be, you know. And I really make that dollar like stretch, man. Like, you know, so I'm not buying extravagant art supplies. I'm not pulling in tons of money on that Patreon page. But again, with your help, you know, if you have the ways and means to, you know, donate $2 a month for a little while, that would be awesome. It just means I get, you know, more interesting art supplies. And you help me draw more, you know. That's basically what that is, you know. So yeah, I'd really appreciate that, guys. If you can, please subscribe to the channel. You know, it would mean the world to me if you did. I'd really appreciate that. So I'm gonna thank you in advance. You know, I hope that you do. And I really mean that I'm honored when you do that. I am honored that you do that. It is that much of a big deal to me, and I really mean that, because, you know, that means that you know, support me. You find enough interest in what I do to you know, subscribe to the channel and support the channel that way. And that means a lot. Like, that means everything to me as an artist, especially because, you know, artists aren't looked at upon in this, you know, in this current daily world that we live in as being, you know, that important. And I really think that we are, and I really hope that we continue and to, you know, to create magic. And to bring magic to people's lives through images, real life images, like keeping art real, like not computer generated necessarily, but more, you know, AI generated. That is like such an insult to art that yeah, it's awful. You know, it's awful. And you know, if you support if you support the creation of traditional art, that really means a lot. That really means a lot, and that's what I'm doing. As you can see, all of this is traditional art. It's all done with pen, paper, pencil, pen and ink. Those constituents, those things, those items, those materials. You know, that's how I do the art, and. You know, it's a dying thing. It's not a thing that is going to last for very much longer because of the way technology has, you know, advanced. Whether it's a good thing or bad thing, you know, it doesn't really matter. The things that are affected are magical things like this, like art. You know, so it's unfortunate, but you know, it's I understand it. I get it. I'm a realist. I know how things work. But what I am saying though too, and I've been saying this for a long time. If I were a regular Joe, which I am, I would absolutely invest in buying original art. Find an artist you like a professional artist that you like, and buy original art from him or her. You know, someone who has a name in the industry, in the art industry, in the pop culture industry, what have you. You know, someone that has a body of work, who's continuing to work in the business, whether it's comic books or illustration or painting or fantasy artwork or whatever. You know, find that person that you like, buy original art. It is not going to be around forever. It is going to be a thing that people are going to crave and want. It'll be absolutely a one-of-a-kind thing, because by its very nature, that's what it is. It is the only thing of its kind that exists. Each artwork is that, you know. It's a one of a kind through and through, you know. So yeah, you know, you either have a piece of art or you don't. Those are the only options, man. Everything else is either, you know, a print or a photo or an NFT or whatever, and that's fine and dandy, but it's not an original piece of art. So I would highly suggest and recommend that if you are able, buy original art now while it's still relatively affordable. I know of some massive sales that have happened recently, actually even in the comic book field, through auction. And I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars for art, like for cover art, a jock cover, a Detective 880, I think it was, went for $888,000. Just a cover. It was an incredible cover, very iconic, but you know, it just went for $888,000. Yeah, which is crazy. So that's a comic book cover. Okay, so yeah, that's just nuts, man. Like, but it's awesome because, you know, there you go. Like, that just shows you, and I mean that's not an isolated. Excuse me, that's not an isolated instance either. You know, that's just a big one that they reported that made kind of a wide release in the news and stuff. And that's why I heard of it, but I know that stuff happens like all the time, right? So if you can get your hands on original art, find an artist that you like and buy some original art, yeah, that I believe will be very, very highly sought after, and that in the future, because, you know, there just won't be any of it. There won't be any of it. You know, it'll be impossible to find, and when you do find it, it'll be like one of those, you know, somebody sold a Rob Sachetto series of pinup art at a yard sale by accident because they were all in sleeves. How did it happen? And they were all sold for like, you know, $1 or something each, but they're worth like, you know, couple hundred grand. Yeah. But yeah, do it. I think it's a really good. You know, if you didn't invest in land, this is your second chance. Invest in art. You know, because there just won't be any of it left. You know, collectors have been buying it for years, and it's been available. You know, but wait until it becomes scarce, then things will start getting, you know, crazy price wise, right? So yeah, you've got guys who've been collecting comic book art and original art for years. Like, you know, some of them just have standing orders to just like anything that so and so does, just buy it, you know, whatever, and things of that nature. So, you know. Yeah, when the tech bros and all the rest of the rich folk decide to turn their attention to you know, to original art, forget it, man. You ain't gonna be able to, you know, see any of that. It's gonna be gone, you know. So yeah, pick it up while it's still you know, affordable. Yeah, lots of nice blood on the claws, of course. Hey, zombie Wolverine. There. What do y'all think of that? Yeah, this. You know what? What did I have going on this page before? There was a lot of erasing going on. I think this is where I originally did that crappy Spider-Man. And then I think I did a Wolverine on here, which I changed. I think I changed a lot of stuff on this page. Yeah, because that has a lot of eraser. That's another thing about original art too. Like you won't see that when I post this, and it's scanned kind of version, right? Because I'm gonna clean it up. Like I'm gonna clean up the little. And again, that's what you see when you experience comics or whatever, like stuff on the printed page. It's already cleaned up and it's printed, at the best quality, the best resolution, and all that stuff. But an original will have all sorts of little inconsistencies, and you can actually see stuff, and so it's very cool. Like that's what I love about originals too, is they have a life, a texture to them, And you see those artist edition volumes of comic books that come out where they print it at the size, like the 11 by 17 size, and you can actually see all those inconsistencies and like notes in the side of the pages and all that stuff. Like it's so cool to see that, Like I said, originals, there's nothing like that. It's a completely different experience. It's like 4K, man, 5K, whatever, 10K, whatever, man. You're seeing the original art in its original form, unsullied. Yeah. So there, I think that's a great Wolverine. I think it's a great Wolverine. There. Some nice shininess on his claws. A little bit of boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. There. Got some drool and glistening blood on his lips, or lack of lips, whatever passes for lips. Maybe he'll have lips later when he regenerates them, but they'll probably end up rotting off again because of the zombie virus. But that, my friends, is a pretty complete zombie Wolverine. Yeah! What do you think of that, guys? I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. Again, when I wake up tomorrow morning, I'll come down and I'll look at this and go, oh, you know what, maybe I'll put a little bit more of this in there. Maybe I'll put a little bit more of that. I might add a highlight here or there. I might add more definition in an area. Maybe show a little bit more detail down here because, I want the claws to look like they're, slicing through his rotting flesh. And, things like things. Things I think of in the morning when I get up. Rotting flesh. But, yeah, man. Hey, come on now. There's some good drawings. There's some good drawings. And you know what? I'll tell you, here's some really great inking techniques, right? For you guys to sort of, if you want to pick up on some nice inking techniques, there's a lot of stuff that I'm doing here, ink-wise, that you could sort of, pick up on and enjoy and maybe use for yourself if you like that kind of style. And again, when I wake up tomorrow, I might look at this and add things here and there. It's not finished until I scan it. And even then, sometimes I've been known to go, you know what? I really need to put more definition in that area, and then I'll rescan. I'll add some more lines and rescan some because it's sometimes you can pick up stuff in a scan that you can't on the original, and you end up fixing it. You end up changing it because of that. I've done that. I might have even done that this morning. Because I scanned a bunch of stuff this morning, and I might have even changed something. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah. So, that stuff happens, man. Sometimes, you want something to be a little more, read a little better, or be defined a little better. So, yeah, kind of make those last second changes. But I really like that Hulk. I think that Hulk is grand. I think it's great. I dig it. I like the Wolverine. Oh my God, this Thor. Yeah, look at that. That's punchy. That's punchy, man. I love that. You know what? I'm gonna add. I'm gonna add a little bit of to his bicep. And there. Yeah. A little bit there. Yeah. Wonderful. Zombie Thor. It's Marvel Zombies, folks. Look at how much we got done tonight. That's incredible. That is incredible. Wow. You know what? I'm just gonna. What time we got? Okay, it's after 12. But look, you know what? Here, I'm gonna do a little. I'm just gonna do a wee bit, just a little bit for courage. Philip Gandy, hello. Looks good. Thank you, man. Yeah, Tina, see you this weekend. That's awesome. CreatureCon 4 for sure. Yes, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Tina, for that. For that compliment and for watching. See you this weekend, I guess. Yeah. Philip Gandy, hello. Looks good. Thank you so much, man. Thanks for joining me tonight. Thank you to everyone joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys, again, of course, for subscribe, all the new subscribers, all of you new subscribers to the channel. Really makes me feel good. Feels great. I love you all. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Means a lot. Means a lot. Really does. I'm honored to have your interest and your support, man. I really mean that. So, thank you all for subscribing and supporting the channel. Old and new supporters and subscribers. Both are very, very important. And I thank you very much. I'm going to do a little bit more on this Iron Man, and then I'm going to have to call it an evening. Because, yeah, I've done a lot. Woo! We've done a lot tonight, guys. We've really done a lot of work. It's incredible. And I'm drawing Tony Stark as a zombie trying to eat his way out of the Iron Man armor. Yeah. Because he turned into a zombie while he was in the Iron Man armor. Yeah. And then Thor cut his power by shattering his power source here. And now Tony Stark's trying to break out of the armor by biting into it. Yeah. Yeah, he's been trapped inside of the Iron Man armor. This is the original I guess, was it who did the original Iron Man? I think I mentioned him already. Not Trimp, but yeah, Trimp wasn't even around at that point. That was who was it who did the original Iron Man stories? Was it no, not Kirby. Kirby was already doing a ton of other things. What was oh my goodness, I can't remember who did it now. That's awful. That's awful. Oh well. I'll remember it. That was a long time ago, man. Woo! Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna break up that round part 2 because that was hit by Thor's hammer. In my backstory that I created, I got hit by Thor's hammer, so it's shattered too, but it's more embedded in him than it is shattered. But the glass, or the main part of it, power source, I guess, that's been shattered into pieces. Yeah. So that's kind of how I wanted to depict that, you know. But he's in there. Like, he's in there, you know, and he's a zombie and he's trying to get out, you know. And I'm also putting his hand over here trying to get out. Yeah. But it's it's Iron Man as a zombie, you know. But again, like, I made up a lot of this. Like, I didn't have reference, so I kind of feel bad, you know, about this drawing, because I didn't. I made it up. It's how I remember Iron Man looking in the first, like the very, very, very first, when he was gray. You know, Tales to Astonish, I think. No, Tales of Suspense. Tales of Suspense. Yeah. His first, like, you know, appearance. And yeah, I think he did have those round things on top, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he did, you know. So I'm going to leave them out. Because again, this isn't canon. I kind of made him up, you know. He looks like a version of Iron Man for sure that you've seen, but you know, yeah, not super accurate, you know. Well, yeah, I couldn't find reference in any of the books that I had, in any of the Marvel catalogs that I had. You know, Spider-Man. Does whatever Spider can. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Okay, then I gotta go. Okay, a little bit more, and then I gotta go, for sure. Yeah, I like that fist. Like that fist. Yeah. Torso works. It's more like more of a Eric Larson Spider-Man torso. Very, very, very thin. Very thin torso. But yeah, it works. You know what? He's a zombie man, so of course, right? He's gonna have more definition and stuff in his torso. If having any, you know, other zombie sort of affectations in there. You know, if not have more zombie affectations in there, not just that, but you know, holes and rips and tears and all those sort of zombie tropes or zombie identifiers. You know, the things that you know identify a character as being zombified, right? So could be like, you know, stylized stuff too. You know, stuff that doesn't necessarily isn't necessarily accurate, but is very cool to look at. You know, yeah. I said it. Yeah, why wouldn't I do that? Why wouldn't I do that? Like, that's, you know, that's the artistic freedom that you have, right? So use it. You know, you don't have to. Like, nothing has to be anything that anyone says it has to be. You know, it's your interpretation of it, your distillation of all of your experiences and everything, your art style and how you've progressed and everything going into the drawing. you know. So, yeah, the outcome should always be a surprise, you know. The outcome should always be a surprise. Yeah. So again, using a lot of this pen, which I really love. I really love how this. Again, I think it's a Staples little pack of pens that you can buy, and like I think even the dollar store had something like this, like these little packs of pens that you can buy. And it's these kinds of pens. I'm sure I got these at the dollar store, either the dollar store or Staples, and they're not very expensive. Like they're fairly affordable. They're pretty affordable. Yeah. Yeah. And I just like how they distribute the ink. The ink is really nice and black. And the nib is very tough. I really like it. I really like how it handles, you know. So yeah. And again, I'm doing. I think for like at this point here, this pen is doing the intermediate lines, like the medium level thickness lines, you know, and then I'm going to go in with the number 3 and kind of do a little bit more finer inking with the number 3 Stadler pen after I use this to get a little bit more exacting in there. But yeah, I'm putting in all those, Spider-Man sort of like the blue leotard kind of details that they do there in the old comics there, you know. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to finish this in the next one, guys, because oh my goodness, yeah, I'm getting a little sleepy. Rob's getting a little sleepy. Well, I got a big week, man. I've got tons of stuff to do. Like, you can always be prepared for cons, but there's always those last minute things where you go, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do a couple more of these prints. Blah blah blah. I have tons of stuff to prepare. I'm gonna try to do as many new zombie Pokemon as I can. Someone suggested, I can't remember the name of it now, but I've already put some of the characters in the queue that I'm gonna do for it was another video game sort of character request. So I'm gonna be doing maybe some of those. Perhaps some insect zombie drawings. Those are all going to be kind of prepared for CreatureCon this weekend. So I'm going to bring as many drawings as I can to work on at CreatureCon this weekend, so people can check that out and have something to do in the while I'm sitting at the table for 2 days, basically. And that's what I got to do this week. I got to prepare for that. I got to create a bunch of new drawings. And I'll probably do another live stream, of course, before the CreatureCon hits, and I'll be doing some of maybe finishing the Spider-Man and Iron Man. The Spider-Man and Iron Man shouldn't take too long. It's just that right now it's like, yeah, it's pretty late, and sure, I could go, till 4 or 5 a.m. if I chose to. But maybe we'll do that another time. I'll do a marathon for you guys. And you can see what that looks like. Because it's crazy. I'll do it, I swear to God. Yeah. But in the meantime, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being with me and drawing with me. Look at how much we got done. This is incredible. Like, wow. I can't believe that. I mean, I'm gonna, maybe do a little bit more detail here and there on some of these before I scan it. But man, they're mostly completed. There. Wow, that's wonderful. Those are great. I love those. I love how those turned out. Got Zombie Hulk, Zombie Wolverine, and Zombie Thor, all part of the... And that Thor cape is great. Like, look at all the... you can see all the rips and tears and the flowingness of it. Yeah, so that those were done today during today's live stream, guys. So if you want to check it out, rewind and watch the entire episode go down, and you can see me, inking these guys. Yeah, it's awesome. And again, got these started. These up here got these started, so that's great. And they're started well. The Iron Man probably won't take too much time. I think I'm gonna do a lot of black. I think that's what I'm gonna do, and scarring in the black. And there's gonna be a lot more darkness in the Iron Man drawing. Yeah. So, guys, tune in next time when I will continue doing Marvel Zombies. That won't take very long. I'll be on to the next thing very soon after, within that live stream. So whatever I'm working on at that time, which will probably be Wednesday. You guys can see what I'm doing then, and see me finish the Spider-Man and Iron Man Marvel Zombies drawings. But for now, I will bid you guys adieu. Thanks so much for watching again, guys. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It really means the world to me if you subscribe to the channel. Helps me reach more eyes and get higher up in that algorithm stream. And I would really appreciate it. It would really mean a lot to me. Thank you again. I will see you guys very soon. I'm hoping for a Wednesday, another Wednesday live stream in a couple days. I try to do them every other day for you guys to check out, and we will do that. So until then, best wishes and love. Rob is out for now. Have a good night. Bye bye.